The guitar came out beautiful. The figurine on the blue streaks, amazing. So I'm gonna work on the fretboard and I'm gonna play around with bat inlays and stuff like that. So we will continue episode 5. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, you know, all the jazz. Laters. I'm taking this down to 0.25. Put the caliper out, make some measurements. Hard with one hand, but I will manage. Okay, so what are we at? Perfect. 0.24 is fine. Only because after the final sand, we will be at 0.23. So that is perfect. Now I'm going to take it over to the machine. Let's get her done. And as I'm looking, I am... Oh, there's a lot of pretty stuff here. You know, I'm going to go for this as the top. Here we go. My super strong double stick tape. I'll peel this off. Again, I'm trying to do this with you guys, but it is hard. So you might get stages that are not going to have anything in them. All right. Let me line this board up. Yes, we will. That's where it's going. That's where it's going. Don't get splinters. All right. There we go. And using a super special, tiny bit for the inlay. See how it goes. Tiny bit. I go through a lot of these bits. It's crazy. That number 2. There you have it. This is our bat inlay or the Fearce inlay, either one. I'm a fan of the petroglyph look. Some might not be, but I really dig this look. Gives you a 3-dimensional outlook on the whole guitar neck. You got, you know, I don't know. I really like this look. I might keep it. I'm gonna try and keep this one. I think it's cool. Or I'm gonna have another video right after this one with me doing red epoxy in here as bats. So next step is to figure that part out, if I want to do epoxy or if I want it to be petroglyph style, and go from there. Okay, so I ended up, I'm gonna try doing a red epoxy on this one, and if I don't like it, I'm just gonna redo another fretboard, no big deal. So I'm kind of guessing about how much epoxy I'm going to need, because I kind of want to mix the color in and everything in one batch. So we're gonna go like that. I shook this already. It's a color additive. Do that. I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drops, just to kind of get an idea. I can do this again. Then we're gonna start from the center. I'm gonna mix it out. What I'm using is any kind of business card, like credit card material. I'll cut it up. You know, you get to mix this thing for at least 30 seconds or 45 seconds. Making sure you're mixing the hardener. And that looks like red blood to me. What do you think, Max?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so now I'm gonna ever so gently start scooping this up and putting it here. And this is my process. Might have to make another batch. I am not worrying too much about getting it everywhere, because I still have the radius cut I need to do on the machine. So main thing, we fill up these pores as best as we can, let it self-level and try and get the bubbles out on its own. I might have to mix another batch, but we already know how to mix it, right? So we're just using the same thing. I am putting a lot on here that I could be using in the other cavities, so let me steal some. I got about 5 minutes to work with this material before it starts giving me hassles and issues. Let's see if I pull this off. I still got some here, so I'll grab from here. Might have actually did it just enough. Might have been just perfect. Starting to get tacky. Getting every last gob out that I can, and pretty much gonna have to start stealing from the leftovers that I missed, which is why it's okay to have a little issue go on here. Grab some extras here. Fill this one hole. Definitely can work. Might be able to pull this off, guys. Kind of looking now where I might have applied a little too thin, because I have time to just go in there and tap it on there. Look in this corner right here, my stove. And while it's in this somewhat tacky stage, you just want to kind of let it self-level by itself. So when I do the radius cut, it's gonna clean all this up, and we're gonna be left with hopefully a beautiful red bat inlay. That's how you do it, kids. And what I like about the epoxy is that it takes the grains that are all open and it seals it and pulls them back together, compared to the conventional shell, which leaves it hollow and sometimes it may crack due to the gap. So it's kind of like reinforcing and reintroducing strength in the inlay. Well, that's my thoughts on it. While we're here trying to do little custom bat inlays, and I'm letting it cure and harden. As the machine was running, I had some clamps set up, and I like messing around with tone where the neck and the body comes together. I think it does do a little something with some kind of resonance. So I wanted to just take it up a notch, just make it a little bit more custom. And since the neck I made for Sammy's guitar has Wenge stringers, I thought it would be a really nice touch to put like a Wenge block in there, which eliminates the soft tone of the wood, brings back some kind of a hard wood, some dense wood, and then when you bite up all that together, it might give a different tone. Who knows? I don't know. I'm gonna get that neck and show you guys what I mean by just a little bit more custom, a little more color contrasting. Here's the neck. You got Wenge stringers in maple. You got a white wood with blue streaks on it. This is going to be dyed blue. It's gonna be a black pro bridge, red pickups, hopefully red bat inlays, but like that little touch of custom, when people look at the guitar and they see this multicolored. I mean, I still got to take off this stuff, this rough stuff, but doesn't that look like, it's like, hey, it's a cool little piece. And what I'm trying to introduce is the Wenge back with the Wenge, and then this also is going to have a Wenge headstock cover. So trying to keep all the woods the same. But here's Shahim. So what we're doing now is putting a 20-degree radius on the fretboard. What it's gonna do is it's gonna, like I was telling you, it's gonna cut off all the epoxy that is above the marking, and then when it's done, I can actually sand it down and take off the leftover layers that are above. Still a little, yeah. I don't mind that it's a little tacky because it's gonna harden anyway, and I'm gonna resand it down with thicker grits, so it'll cure when it's done. So here we are, 20-degree radius. You kind of see the outlines coming through, all the rubbish getting taken off. After it's done, I'm gonna let it harden some more, and I'm gonna take a flat leveled sanding beam and sand down the centers until I get the rest of the rubbish off, being careful not to ruin the 20-degree radius. It's gonna look pretty. You gotta trust the process. Let this run. We'll get back to it after that. We got fret lines and cutting the exterior of it. We're good to go. This is a fret bit. It's 0.23. I'm getting to focus on it. The tip is 0.023 thick. And now we're gonna come over here, open it up, and we are going into the fret lines. And here we go. hoses away from the drill bit. This is a 1/8 end bit. Gonna cut it out real slow. Fretboard. Again, it's still prep, guys. It's not the final look. A lot of work goes into it. So what I want to do is I want to try and take the outsides off, right? I want to keep this still taped down onto the bed, right? Okay. So the epoxy, since I started doing this at night, still a little tacky on the top side. So what I might do is I might just leave it overnight, come back to it, and sand it down, or I can try to do it now and see what happens. See this, yeah, still tacky. The humidity is high too, so not a problem. So sometimes we just gotta wait. We gotta wait for greatness and be patient. But you can see what it's going to look like. Oh, what I got is I got this leveling bar. I have an 80 grit on this, and I just did a little bit, and you can see and start cleaning up the bats a bunch. You know, you gotta lie it down flat. I'm gonna go, and I'm following the radius of the fretboard. And as you can see, the bats are coming more alive. See it? Start getting more shape. So what the grit is doing is just setting down on all the extra rubbish. It's gonna level off. So I'm gonna let this cure a little more. Come back to it, tap it a little bit better, tap it a little bit more, and it's gonna be great. Came out great. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours. I sanded a little bit more down with the level sander. I'm gonna let it cure a little bit more, probably really touch it up tomorrow. This is what it looks like when you brighten it up with some mineral spirits. Kind of what the fretboard's gonna look like when I put the finish on it. Oh, sorry. There you go. What do you guys think? It's still curing, but a whole nother kind of fretboard, isn't it? But hard to beat the curls in the wood. Well, that was it for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. Yeah, this came out pretty sick. Pretty crazy. So since I can't really video and hold the camera at the same time, I'm going to explain the process. So from the last video, I waited a day, coming back into it. It's kind of a vintage red, you know, thing. And now I'm going to try and sand off the leftover residue of the epoxy from the centers, still keeping it on a 20-degree radius using my level sander here. This is an 80 grit paper, 220 and a 400, and trying to get this thing cleaned up better, and I will check you back in. But basically, I run the leveling beam. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to hold it. I run the leveling beam on the center because that's the high spots where the epoxy was. I'm going to stay away from the sides until I see the center start clearing up. And you can go slow, but I'm letting all the weight go on the leveling beam, you know. I'm not pushing down too much. I'm just slowly back and forth. It's a little difficult doing it on camera because I'm looking at the piece through the camera, but I'm rounding it off towards the end, you know. And I will come back and show you what's going on. So got my little blower, and I start blowing it down. See, it's getting a little more red. You can kind of see it come through. Little pits here and there, but it's fine. It's still got to be sanded down to 3,000 grit, so more is gonna come off. I'll check back with you guys. A little. Hey, Moon. Hi. Out of the machine. My beautiful pit. So I sanded it down more, and with the epoxy, there was slight bubbling. You can see. So what I did was, while using the fine dust that fills up the imperfection of the epoxy bubbling, I'll go in there, just kind of showing you all the little stuffs that I'm doing. So I go in there and I touch it up with some mineral spirit stains. And I hope the camera's on it because I'm trying to focus on the toothpick. You just kind of go in there and you're basically filling up the maple powder. You can see it's like you're just kind of, this is a mineral spirit that evaporates into the wood, but it leaves the stain. And let me kind of touch up this inlay a little bit, and then like this one, you'll see. Sorry, guys. Really trying to give you guys the process. So you see all the you see all the white powder. Start pulling in all the red from the dye. And then I follow up. It's almost like just coloring it in. But stay in the dot, you know. I think that's good. That's just great. And I'll also just finish off the top one. And if it goes outside with the inlay, it's not bad, because after this, which I'll show you, is I put a CA glue over this to do a final seal of the inlay, further adding strength to it. I know this may be boring, but I'm really trying to take you on the journey. Just the small little things that so now that I filled up all the little pockets, the inlay looks 1,000 times better. And this is the CA glue I was telling you about. So I am going to try and show you. So I put a drop of it on the center. I get my other toothpick and I kind of just spread it through. Doesn't matter if it bleeds over. This seals in that little pocket, you know. Down a bit, a little bit more, so it can spread better. See that? What it does is it traps in the color that I just added. And then the rest will get sanded down. And I will be using a true oil finish on the fretboard to give it that solid glass look. Just a nice little seal. And then I'm not gonna put the activator, which dries this up instantly. I'm just gonna touch it off, let it dry naturally. There you go. All right, sorry that took so long, but that's the next process is sealing the inlay of any of the little tiny imperfections. And you know what? I'm down with a little imperfection on the guitar. Kind of tells you that these hands made it. The machine only does so much, people. Honestly, it's a great help, but again, can do all this by hand. There you go. This is about midway through sanding through the seal, using the 80 grit the sandpaper. And then you can see this is all the CA glue being picked up. I got a nice little thing to clean off my sandpaper. And then I can go back at it again. Again, just trying to keep it level. Trying to get you guys going on the whole process, but just take your time. It's Tiger Love, not Tiger Rush. Again, I start tapering it towards the outside, and I don't want to have a flat spot in the center. But this beam literally sits on top of the CA glue. So I'll be doing this for another 5-10 minutes until I get the desired effect, and we'll check back in with you guys. Coming out. So took it down with the 80, got rid of the residuals, and I'm happy with this. I'm fine with this. Again, this is a prototype, you know. And then, so what I do, I took it to 80, to 220, down to 400, and what I do is kind of check. Sorry, the camera's gonna be doing some crazy stuff. What I do to see what it's gonna look like on the finish, it's just a test. It's gonna be shinier, but I give it a nice wipe down with some mineral spirits. This also cleans out any of the fine powder that was in the grain. You know, change the rag around. And I think that looks sweet. I think that's it for this segment. I'm gonna go to the next episode. It'll be neck prep. Let's see. Thank you guys for watching. So, you know, I wanted to just keep you guys with the process of how I go about building a guitar. The machine is basically a tool. It helps me get things done a little quicker, a little more precise. But there's thousands of things that go after you cut out the body, the neck, and the fretboard. as you'll hopefully see, and hopefully I'll be able to keep documenting. It's very hard doing this one-handed, and setting up a stand is cool, but you know, like being able to move the camera around, getting close up on the visuals is a lot better for me. And but no, thank you guys for watching. Let's hit the next episode, and I think I'm gonna go in the direction of neck prep, and we will go from there, and I'll kind of explain what that is. Got the body. This has been sitting in a humidified room at 45%, 50%. A lot of my builds are in dry climates, and I'm going to give you guys my 75 cents worth of knowledge. And so I'm going to go, and my last video, I added a Wenge heel cap. I think sonically it adds a little more snap and brightness when you have these two things pinched down. But next episode is going to be neck prepping. The carbon fiber rods, again, was already installed on the machine when it was a block to keep it from moving, when it removes the pressure, when it cuts the back. When it takes off all that wood, the wood tends to bow and move. This stops it, keeps it nice and straight. So in neck prep, I guess we're gonna do, I'm gonna add a Wenge cap on it over here, just because I like all the woods to match, you know. Wenge stringers, Wenge headstock covers, Wenge heel, you know. And then we are going to mark our holes and line it up to our body holes, drill it, and we're gonna do all the copper inserts in here. And after that, we add the truss rod in, protect it, glue and fretboard. So I'll try and get that on in the next series. Thank you guys for watching. Mahalo.